So let me ask you something real for a second before we get into this. When is the last time, I mean, genuinely, honestly, the last time you actually changed your mind about something political because someone on the other side made a good point? Take a second to think about it. And by the way, if you're being honest about it, being really real with yourself, you probably never. Maybe, probably not a long time, in years. Or maybe not ever. Who knows? And here's the thing. It's not just you. This is not a personal failure. I'm not here to attack you. That's America right now. The entire country kind of sort of itself into two different teams, three teams, I would say four teams. But the game never ends. And that today, guys, is why we're going to be talking about what's happening, what's actually looks like in real life, and why, you know, people are profiting off of it and they don't really want to stop. Talking about tribalism in America, okay? Tribalism. Now, what is tribalism exactly? Because it's one of the words that people throw around quite loosely without really defining it. And tribalism, by the way, is the human instinct to identify with a group that at its core, it's hardwired into us. And that it's survived mechanism. This goes back thousands of years, by the way. Your tribe kept you alive. Outsiders were a serious threat. And the problem is that we look at ancient survival instincts and plug it into a modern political system with social media attached to it, 24-hour cycle news, algorithms designed, well, to pretty much keep you pissed off, if you want to be real. And political identity in America today functions like religion. People on the other side say you're not just wrong, they're pure evil. And people on your side, if they're not sufficiently pure enough, well, you're an apostate. But think about that for a second. We're not talking about policy disagreements anymore. We're talking about actual framework where the other side is fundamentally morally inferior, where the nuance is weakness, and where changing your mind equals total utter betrayal. And that's not democracy. That's a cult, ladies and gentlemen. That's a cult. And this is just a feeling numbers that backs it up. Just over half Americans, roughly 53%, see left-wing extremism as a major problem. And 52% see right-wing extremism as a major problem at the same time, and the same people. Most Americans right now know something is busted, something is actually broken, and they can see it. Americans are acutely aware of the divided self. Mentions of polarization spikes every single time there's a political violence that's going on. Any clashes with protesters, incendiary remarks from politicians, right? Even people who support the current administration describe polarization as something that weakens the community and cohesion. It makes it harder to move forward. But if everyone wants to see the problem, why does it keep getting worse? And we're going to get into that. But first, let me show you what actually looks like on the ground with real events that everyone can all remember. Because why? They flooded social media nonstop for weeks on end. Let's look at some real examples. Let's say, I don't know, COVID. The face mask itself became a political symbol. Science went out the fucking door, and both sides, both blue, locked schools down for nearly over 2 years. Red states opened them up immediately. They didn't do any data checking or anything else like that. Nobody on the other side primarily looked at the data. But they're only looking towards their teammates, their teams, right? And also goes on the notion of what my tribe believes in. What signal does that send about what side that I'm on? Kids paid the price. Learning loss, mental health crisis, social development, all of it, because adults couldn't separate policy from identity. You look at the Carmelo Anthony verdict that just happened. Teenager kills another teenager at a track meet. Within 24 hours, less than 24 hours, Twitter had sorted itself automatically into two different form tribes. One screaming about race, the other one screaming about self-defense. Memes were being made before the facts were even fucking in. Nobody wanted to wait. Nobody thought about it. They just found their team, started throwing punches, and everyone went crazy all over the internet. I mean, look at the White House shooting. Not even 24 hours. Everyone down Erica Kirk's throat. Everyone down. People are like, "Oh, this guy's hiding behind his pregnant wife." Like, so many things went wrong with that. Not even within 12 hours, people were already jumping to conclusions. It was ICE. It was this. It was that. It was Mossad. It's ridiculous. The Luigi Mangione, another man. We thought that his story was going to become ephemeral, but it wasn't. It still sticks till to this day. You know what I mean? A man walks up, murders a healthcare CEO, Brian Thompson, cold-blooded up on a New York City street. Premeditated, by the way, allegedly, according to documents of his own journal. Shell casings matched the weapon found in his backpack. And open and shut case. Half the internet turned him into a folk hero, as if he was Robin Hood. And merchandise, fan accounts, people started showing up at the court to cheer for him because they hated their insurance company. Because everybody knows insurance companies screw you over. You know what I mean? The act itself, nobody cared about. The victim didn't matter. The only narrative that actually mattered is only which, what tribe gets to claim the story. You know what I mean? You have January 6th versus 2020 Black Lives Matter riots. This one should make everyone uncomfortable because it exposes both sides completely. The same people who were spending the summer of 2020 telling you property damage isn't violence, okay? And defending burning federal courthouses called what happened on January 6th the greatest attack on democracy in American history. The other side did the exact same thing, but only in reverse. We would defend January 6th as a legitimate protest, while others are calling the 2020 Black Lives Matter riots domestic terrorism. It's just, you know what I'm saying? Both were involved in property destruction, both involved in people storming government buildings, right? Both resulted in deaths. Both sides applied completely different standards depending on the entirety of which team was doing it. The tribalism in its purest form, the act doesn't determine your reaction, your team does, who you're rooting for. January 6th is the perfect example. Black Lives Matter riots was a perfect example. They both did the same fucking thing. Yet each side is still pointing their fingers. So why is this accelerating? Why does it feel like it gets worse every single year? Probably because it is. Now, another one could be maybe the algorithm, right? Social media didn't create tribalism. That's ancient. You know what I mean? It's but now it's turbocharged and monetized. Tribalism begins the moment people stop asking whether a proposal is sound and workable, right? It starts asking who proposed it. And every major social media platform is designed to push you further into that mode, into that rage bait mode, man, into that hate. Because outrage keeps things scrolling, guys. Confrontation, drama keeps you engaged. And being challenged makes you log off. So the algorithm feeds you that content. That confirms what you already believe, makes you angrier at the side that you never ever showed something that you might be, you might have a change of heart on. You wind up in that bubble, right? That so generally start to believe everyone agrees with you, and then finally encounter someone who doesn't, then it feels like an attack because, well, your algorithm curated reality is dissonant and it's foreign. The media does the same thing in every major outlet, left or right. They have you figure out that outrage drives clicks, nuances doesn't sell, and complexity doesn't sell. Your side under attack sells. And that's what they give you every single day. And the politicians, They figured out this the fastest of all. Mentions of polarization spike at every time politics makes incendiary remarks, or politicians, I'm sorry, makes incendiary remarks, and they know that. They do it on purpose. It's divide base and energize base, right? Energize base donates money and shows up to vote. Conflict is the product, and division is the business model. And you're just a fucking customer. And the hard truth of it all is here I'm going to say something that might make you uncomfortable. But it's true. This applies to all of you, including people who agree with me politically. If you cannot name one thing on your own side that has gotten wrong in the last 5 years, you are not a political thinker. You are a jersey-wearing person. You are a tool, a pawn. Every single position your team holds is correct, and every single position the other side holds is wrong. You haven't figured out the truth. You just found your tribe has stopped thinking. Real intellectual honesty means that you're able to say, my side blew that one. Real strength means you don't need your team to be perfect to support the thing you actually believe in. The people who can do that, the people who own their side of accountability while still fighting for what they believe in, are those the most dangerous people in politics, because they can't be manipulated. They can't be played. They're loyal to their ideas, not a fucking jersey. So, most Americans, what researchers call exhausted majority, are fed up with all of it. They know that they have more in common than what divides us, and they want to move past it. But the loudest voice on the other side won't let that happen, because peace is bad for business. So with that, I'll leave you with. Next time you have a reaction to a political story, before you share it, before you dunk on someone, before you pick up that jersey, ask yourself one question. Am I reacting to what actually happened, or am I reacting to what my tribe told me to feel about it? And that question alone will make you engage with everything. I'm Jimmy, aka Johnny. This is the Outpost. If this hits a bit different, please share it. Let's keep the conversation real, and I'll see you next time.